Principle-based living is all about teaching principles or talking about principles, and principles are laws that govern this world in which we live. And if we understand and know what those principles are and live our life in alignment with those principles, we'll get the outcomes that we want in life. If we don't know about those principles or we don't follow them, then we're going to experience the consequences of not following them. For example, gravity exists, and if I just want to ignore it, well, I'm going to experience the consequence of ignoring gravity, and I'm going to fall. Well, the same thing holds true for the principles that govern things like happiness and relationships and success. So we've done a lot of videos on our channel talking about different principles and how they operate in this life and how they apply to different situations. But I decided to do some things a little bit different with some of these recordings. I interviewed people and asked them specific questions about their beliefs about things in life. And this video is about what they thought would make their life better or happier. So one or two things that if it was different in their life, then their life would be better or they would be more happy. And this one that we're going to talk about today is, I had a few people that said, well, if I could do whatever I wanted to do, whenever I wanted to do it, then my life would be happier. So the first one is, happiness is a choice. Viktor Frankl learned in Man's Search for Meaning that, even in a concentration camp, there were people who chose to experience happiness, even in that setting. Our circumstances do not determine our level of happiness. It's our thoughts that create that. So this thought that I would be happier if I could do whatever I wanted, well, that's a false belief. Even if you were able to do whatever you wanted to do, you could still end up being unhappy because maybe you do what you want to do, but it doesn't turn out the way that you thought. Maybe you did what you wanted, but other people didn't do, what they're supposed to do. And so even if we have what we want, we could still choose to be happy. That's one part of it. The other part is, what about that belief of if I could just do whatever I wanted to do? And the truth is, we have the freedom to do whatever we want to do, but there are consequences for every choice that we make. If we don't want those consequences, then we change our behavior. If I want to speed, I can speed, and maybe I won't get caught, but maybe I will get caught. And if I do get caught, then there's the consequence. I may have to pay a ticket, but I'm free to do whatever I want to do. Once I understand though this principle of cause and effect, two principles here, right? The principle of control. I have the choice and the control over my behavior. I can do whatever I want. I can choose to do it or choose not to do it. And one of the things that influences our choices is, well, what are the outcomes of the choices? And in fact, that's what consequences are all about. We make a choice, we experience the consequence, and then that influences our future choices. So if the outcome or the consequence that we get is one that we want, then we're probably going to repeat that behavior. If it's not what we want, then we'll probably change it up and do something different. So if I understand the truth about this, that the truth is I can do whatever I want, but there are consequences. Now I can look at, well, what do I have control over? Because I can't change that law. But if I don't like that I can't do whatever I want, what I do have power or control over is I can change my thoughts. So I can recognize that, no, I do have the freedom to do whatever I want, but there are consequences. So maybe if I understand that, that will help me with that belief of if I could only do whatever I want, I'd be happy. Because now I have a correct belief and understanding where I know I can do whatever I want, but I don't want to do this because of those consequences, so I'm choosing to do this. So in reality, I am doing exactly what I want, and I do have the freedom to do whatever I want. So making that shift may in and of itself give you what you're seeking and allow you to experience the happiness that you're saying that you want to experience. Thanks for watching. Be sure and subscribe to our channel, ring the bell, and if you want to know more about who we are and what we do, visit our website at principlebasedliving.com. And if you're watching this on LinkedIn, be sure and follow me here.